Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about my final project, which is creating a greenhouse planner guide for my horticulture classes. So the thought of this is that at the end of every unit, or most units that we have in the course, the students will get to pick and choose some of the things that they learned from that unit to create their greenhouse management guide. I'll have some small guidelines along the way, but for the most part, they will get to pick what they feel is the most important things they learned in that unit to include in their management guide. Some of the objectives met, not only for this course, but also for me as an ag teacher. We function on what are called competencies. They are standards. And so each class that we teach and is mapped as a CTE course at the state, we have a list of these competencies. And they're skills that the students rank themselves on at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year again. And this project itself, I can honestly see it developing into something that we can meet and reflect on all of those competencies. But for sure, right now I have it built that we cover plant anatomy, soil fertility, plant propagation, and then our greenhouse management as well. I'll talk about project-based learning a little bit more in the reflection. This is going to be used as a cumulative project, so they'll get a final grade for it in the fall and spring semesters. I can also see it being something that I use in multiple courses. So developing kind of this guide or portfolio for each of my courses for students to reflect and pull from each unit that we do the important things that they feel they'll take with them as they leave my classes. Some of the media and technology that I want to use from this course, this was a Google drawing we did, and like my second hour class is going to be making wave petunia baskets with in our school colors. So I can see having them do this for wave petunias to send with the people that are purchasing them to say, hey, if you see some of these signs, something might be wrong with your plant. I can also see them making an animation maybe we share on our school website that shows this is how you fertilize them, because they are kind of temperamental. They like a lot of fertilizer. They like to be watered a lot. And those are things that people leaving with them might want to know how to do. Another really cool thing that I think my students will really get into is using that Sheets add-on to make an application. And I made one for my cross-country team to track their times throughout the year, but I can see that being something that we track the temperature and humidity in the greenhouse, that we also track growth rates, fertilizing rates, all of those kind of things. It's kind of a great project that could work into as well. As a part of this, the final project, I've spent a lot of PD time as a school district and a lot of personal PD time in professional development for project-based learning and inquiry, especially with STEM. So this would work perfectly into the point of the students get a lot of buy-in and choice in what they want to put into their guide. And as well, it'll be a great way for them to authentically present it at the end of each semester. This provides us, we have a lot of options within Google. We're a one-to-one iPad school, and so they have access to a lot of these things as well. On the flip side of that, I can kind of see that, I foresee that's going to be a place that I need to spend a lot of time working and maybe some guinea pig hours. I've already had one class I know working with me on one of the animation sites, and it was really, really difficult to work with on their iPad. They had access to it, but to manipulate from my computer is so different than what it is from the iPad. So there's just going to be a lot of time working with our tech person, making sure we have access to the add-ons, and then also that, it's doable not only from my computer, but also from our handheld devices. The IST standard that we meet is, creating that authentic learning, that not only we're using these things, they kind of learned about it, but getting to that deeper learning that they walk away from my class remembering some of this stuff. I think the big takeaway is, creating that mind shift from teacher-driven learning to student-driven learning. And I've worked for years on doing that. And it's going to take a lot of scaffolding, but I think this project provides that because they, at the end of the unit, get to choose what they want to use, but I can scaffold along the way. I can teach them how to use the technology. I can show them the expectations. And the piece that I really, really love about this is how each person is going to reflect, because I feel like we don't spend enough time reflecting. So I think that I will actually use this greenhouse management guide in a lot of different courses along the way.